We're easily distracted over here. I mean, you can have, and just the focus is different over here. For instance, here's a quote. I might be hard to follow. I'm a scatterbrain. But here's a quote, just from here. And think of the number. Just a second. Okay. Dallaire did not then imagine a full-scale countrywide... I can read, I swear I can. He did not then imagine a full-scale countrywide genocide. Indeed, although he quickly grasped the savage nature of the violence, his imagination was hemmed in by his knowledge of the region's last war, which had occurred between Tutsi and Hutu in neighboring Burundi. I'm not saying the words right. Please don't take offense. Burundi had just blown up, and 50,000 had been killed in just a few days, Dallaire explains. So when the plane went down, presidents were assassinated, we actually expected around 50,000 plus dead. Can you imagine having that expectation in Europe? Racism slips in it, so it changes our expectations. Still, with the smell of decomposing flesh already intolerable, Dallaire knew that regardless of the numbers likely to be killed, he would need outside help, which he didn't get. But anyway, that quote there, 50,000 plus dead. 50,000 had died previously. And it was expected that might happen again after the assassinations. And that wasn't an alarm to those who were in the know. Although he was asking for help. His story is very moving. Read Shake Hands with the Devil, The Failure of Humanity in Rwanda. That's an amazing book. But anyway, we have a different perspective over here. Even regarding what's going on in Iraq and Afghanistan and everything. The numbers there of civilians killed, civilians. We're not talking about terrorists. We're talking about civilians, people. The number that have been killed, the number we couldn't even conceive of, really. Over here, everybody uses the example 9/11, and we can't say that we weren't moved by it. I watched it on television, and I wept, and it moved me, but it also made me think, because while it was the first close to home thing, I am very close to the border. I thought I've been following genocide and different conflicts in the world for quite some time, and realized that there's a lot going on in the world right now where lots of people are dying, massive killings, ethnic cleansing, genocide, brutal slayings, and what they were funded by. I mean, we can go back in history regarding Saddam, who was allowed to, if you want to talk about the gassing of the Kurds and that genocide, you could also look into the funding of various things going on there, where they were supported by governments that condemn them later. This research isn't like a propaganda of a leftist. All the documentation is available, including government reports, and you can look at it. It's fascinating what the information's out there. You can learn for yourself about how the history if you want to, and it's right out there. It's amazing to see how we can have the facts and still we go a different way depending on what interest is there. I lost my point. I wish I could backtrack myself. The numbers though. Okay, so 9/11, a lot of people, a lot of families affected still to this day. When I hear, I haven't seen Sicko yet, but I did see the clip where they had some of the people who had gone in to help with the disaster area to help retrieve bodies who have serious lung illnesses that aren't being covered by the medical programs in the U.S. when he took them across, to Guantanamo Bay because they have better services there or something. Not like I'm not moved, because I feel that heroic acts were done that day, and people came together, and there was humanity in that, in what happened, and I am moved. But if you compare that number to the number happening in other places right now, and I mean, we don't. Why don't we? Do we see ourselves as better than them? Some people are going to blatantly say yes. I even know of some people that would say yes. We're much better than them. We're, blah, blah, blah. We're not. We are of different circumstance, different surrounding, different society, motivated by commercialism, which, yeah, I have books, I have music, I have this computer, I am a part of it all. We have different values or ideals, but that does not make us any more human or make anyone else less human than us. I mean, reading some of the history of some of what's happened in genocides in recent, where whole groups have been wiped out or intended to be. It wasn't just the people. The people is the main thing. But we're talking, they would target scholars, teachers, people of knowledge, artists, poets, musicians. They would destroy their homes, their buildings. Of just try and imagine that this happened here. And you might think, well, we're fighting over there, so it doesn't happen here. No, that's not why we're doing it. But anyway, just put yourself in place. And if it's too depressing to think about, well, then don't. But I'm going to say it anyway. Imagine our worlds. Okay, here are people that are living a different way, but they're just living a different way. They have their own civilizations form, and people in groups form different ways of living, and also it's affected by financially, economically. I mean, that's why there are advancements in culture now. It depends on who's letting who have what, who's in power. I mean, great nations fall, great nations rise. But we're much more connected and alike than we think we are. So just imagine that something has happened to us, like we had the fear when Hitler was doing what he did. People got afraid because we were seeing him, oh, he is sweeping across Europe. Oh, he could possibly, take every country there. And I mean, now we're scared. We could have bombed the trains and so that prevented the concentration camps, but we didn't. Anyway, sidetracking here, but imagine that instead of just 9/11, we had everyday things happening like that. You can't even think of it, can you? You can't. Imagine all your favorite musicians, even the bad ones, even the crappy ones. I was gonna name some musicians, but I didn't mean they were crappy. I'm saying, let's say you're great musicians, whatever kind you like, from mainstream, rock, rap, everything, everyone. Think of your favorite celebrities, all bundled up, murdered. Favorite poets, artists, TV show people. Then you've got your professors that are highly respected professors. Just imagine the people that you look up to, rounded up, murdered, and then, then just randomly everybody who's, well, a target would be all of us obese people. Wipe us out, because obese is bad. So let's kill all the obese people. Just imagine things like that happening. Wow, if that was my clip and that's all you heard, that would not sound very good.